you. Three-quarters of the NFL season are complete. What lurks in our final month? We're underway in Week 14. This one fielded at the 5. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. So out come the Texans for their opening drive. And they'll be led out by the man running the show, Charles, their quarterback. They'll try and start this drive in the air. He'll hit Jackson complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. A fresh set of downs on a gain of 13 there for the Texans.
And the game just keeps evolving. Big guys running those corner routes, so difficult to cover.
Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8. And the big boys up front in the trenches. What do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
And they still need 8 yards for the first here on 2nd down. Looking to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. That's good for a Texan first down, a 12-yard pickup.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you? And he'll give it here to his running back. And hello, he's going to be knocked backward as he'll be marked down. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. And the big meat on the D-line, we'll see how they do today.
And I'd hate to be an offensive lineman having to deal with these guys. They come in hungry, mean, and confident. They think that no one can block them.
Offense still needing 10 yards. 2nd down. Now a handoff as they run left side. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And now they're going to get him down right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation. Now they had the box stacked. That run was going nowhere from the start.
And when you say stacked, you really mean it, don't you? Because when you're talking about a 46 defense, commonly known as the Bear defense, you're covering up the guys inside, and you're allowing other people to get in there close to the line of scrimmage. Usually an 8-man front, that's difficult to block for an offense. On that play, the defense won in a big way. No gain at all. I know in most cases people think you throw the ball in this situation, and when they ran, it almost felt like a little bit of a surrender, maybe a give up. But I don't know if that's really the case. They might have been probing a little bit, checking the defense and filing it away for later. They might have something working later on.
The Texans send the punter out. As the first drive of the game stalls out, he's on to punt. And last week in the loss, 5 punts as he gets this one away. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. And trotting out there, their tall quarterback standing at 6'5". And incomplete to open things up. And the Buffet boys, the O-line, hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field. And when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
So incomplete on first. Let's see what second down has in store. Now they'll run it on the toss. He'll be tackled shy of the 35. Pretty shifty footwork, but didn't buy him much. Just a gain of a yard there, and now it'll be third down. Partner, your thoughts on this D-line?
I love a unit that can control the run and get after the passer. This is an all-around terrific defensive front. Hard to move the ball against them on the ground, and then when you want to throw it, look out. Here they come after the quarterback.
And the Texans have an extra defender in the secondary now on third down. Trying to lay one up deep. That's caught inside the 20. And he'll be down deep in Houston territory. It's a big play there for Tennessee. 53 yards. Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
Sometimes play calls boil down to philosophy. You know you're facing one of the top 10 units against the run in the NFL. So do you decide to keep smashing against them, or do you decide to throw the ball here?
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. This will be caught at about the 6. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. The reception good for 7. It's third down. Got a man, and it's taken in for a Titans touchdown. This is a crew, they've come out flat their last 2 games, both losses, but just judging by the energy level, they look different here early, and that touchdown shows how.
Yeah, it seems to me that touchdown gets them off the treadmill. Because you know, you've been on the treadmill. I've seen you work out. You go forever and ever, and it tells you you've gone somewhere, but you're really out here in the same spot. They've exchanged it for an escalator. Still got some hills to climb, but they can get there.
These are good analogies. I run outside sometimes, though. You know, get some fresh air, a little sun on your face.
A little wind in there.
Yeah, that's right. That time, a 6-play drive. And the result in the end, a Titans touchdown. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is taken at his 4. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Out now comes the Houston offense as you take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trade expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating first downs that way. Keep moving the football. You don't want to get behind the sticks because then the defense has the advantage.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down.
Well, that was an okay hook up there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up third down.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this only up to about the 35. Just a gain of 2 there, and it's going to bring up a 4th down.
4th and short, partner. I mean, this would be a really risky call. Here we are in the first quarter.
On your own side of the field.
Side of the field. But, boy, what a tone setter that would be to go for it and get it, wouldn't it?
You're gritty today. I like it.
I'm feeling it.
The Texans send the punter out as he'll punt it away for the second time. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. And as this offense makes their way back out, it's AFC playoff race time as we give you a look. Now, they'll be looking to duplicate the efforts of drive number 1 that resulted in 7 points in the 7-zip lead.
Well, you know how much I enjoy horse racing, right? Looks like they caught a flyer out of the gate, as they would say when you're running the big-time races. Means they get out to a fast start. They're setting the pace, making the other team chase now.
And to give this time to the tailback. And he will lose yardage on the play, back at his own 19-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
I'd say the staff that's up in the booth watching the game, they may want to file that one away. See how fast the free safety closed to make that play? Might want to check into a throw the next time.
And the offense behind the chains here a touch on 2nd and 11. On play action, they'll throw. And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete, so the ball a little late getting there, and it's 3rd down.
Oh, he caught it. Just couldn't get the feet down. Couldn't get that toe tap sequence, right? I was ready to call him tippy toes if that one was completed.
Here we go.
They'll set up to throw. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. And now following that sack, looks like we've got an injured man down there on the field. We'll check on his status when we get back. Here's Brett Kern now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. We'll call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And the Texans with great field position to start this drive as they take over 1st and 10. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. And this is their 3rd drive. Maybe the focus right now not so much on points, but getting their first down.
And when you start off a game, you don't even think that's an issue, do you? But you go a drive, a second drive, no first down, that becomes an issue. Now you got to think about, okay, what type of play calling do I have to do to get us in a spot to pick that first one up?
And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 47. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. They tried to run the counter, just that the defense wasn't fooled.
And when they're not fooled, you see the end result. Because what you're doing there, you mentioned the counter. You're using your offensive linemen sometimes to pull or move to influence the defensive front to go in that direction and create the space back in the other side and block it appropriately. But you're exactly right. Didn't move him. Sat there waiting for him and made the play.
1st down and 10 now for the offensive group. And he'll give it here to his running back. And a short gain down to about the 33. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be taken down with a marker on the field. So let's see about the call.
Illegal block in the back. Offense.
Let's go. 3-19.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation. So 1 quarter in the books on a cold December afternoon. 7-0 is our score. We're back to Nashville right after this. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and it's Texans football as we get going at quarter number 2. They're staring up at a 3rd and 9 to start it out.
Here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
They'll set up a throw. And unable to connect on the long pass. It falls down incomplete.
Okay, let's decide here. He was open, right? Not extraordinarily open, but open enough that if you're an NFL quarterback, you got to make that throw, right?
Yeah.
That's got to be completed.
9 times out of 10, that's a completed pass.
Yeah, he missed that one and missed it in a big way.
And his kick is right there. It's good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So this offensive unit, they've now had 3 drives, and they only have 3 points to show for it.
Payoff is the key for everything. How many offenses have we talked to that say we have to finish drives? Thus far, this team hasn't finished it quite the way they wanted to.
This is fielded at the goal line. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30 to the 33-yard line. And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked so well, and maybe try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 13 yards is the pickup for Tennessee and a first down. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving him a whole lot of credit and thanking him for that much space to rumble.
And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Lloyd. And he's going to go out of bounds, taking it down inside the 25. 13 yards is the pickup for Tennessee and a first down. Going to give this time to the tailback. And he'll be taken down near the 20 at the 21. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Here we go.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. The reception good for 7. It's third down. The offense on third down tonight, they've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. They're looking at third in the nose of the football.
All right, here we go. Boom, landed.
And on the ground they go with a running back. And the penetration too strong. He won't make it back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 4th down.
The 3rd and inches, you pretty much expect to see straight-ahead runs, and this one doesn't quite go that way. And it certainly didn't help him trying to pick up a 1st down.
Yeah, tried to get to the outside, lost yardage. So on 4th down, Jason Garrett sends in his field goal unit. And his kick here is good. And they push the lead up to a touchdown now at 10-3. So a good snap, good hold, and that one's right down the middle.
Never in doubt. Just the way you used to hit them, Brandon.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is taken at his 4. Uses the spin. And now out comes Houston. And after the field goal last time, let's see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that. They weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
When tapping those toes, he tried to get both in bounds. He could not do it, though.
In tap dance parlance, could not complete the shuffle. All right, needed to get that shuffle down with both feet, not just one.
Is that what they say?
There it is. You know, put a little sand down on the stage.
I'll take your word for it, my man. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. It's a gain of 5, and that'll lead here to a 3rd down. The Texans on 3rd down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This will be 3rd and 5.
Green 39. Green 39.
He'll look to throw. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he will have a 1st down here at about the 40. A pickup of 11 and a Texans 1st down.
And this is why trying to cover the angle route is so difficult. Anyone playing the linebacker position, when they see a running back out of the backfield widen because he heads towards the flat first, oftentimes you widen too much and overcommit. He cuts up inside, and that's what we saw there. A nice pickup for a 1st down.
The play fake. He'll look to throw. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Defensive end gets in there that time. They were in a 4-3. What's the responsibility of the ends versus the tackles there, Charles?
Well, most of the time when you talk about the ends, they're your pass rushers. They're the guys that you turn loose to try and get to the guy who's going to throw the football. The tackles, usually more of the run-stuffing variety. But the way this game is advanced, you're wanting a little bit of everything out of all of your guys. But let's just go ahead and break it down and make it simple. The guy who's the right defensive end versus a right-handed quarterback, that's the blind side. He's going after the quarterback. He's going to put him on the ground.
The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up 3rd down. And Charles, got to like what this defense has been able to do these last couple of plays.
Yeah, they get the sack on 1st down, then they force the incomplete pass. Now they're just a play away from getting the football right back, but it's a big play. They've got to hold up.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And he's got Miller. Past the 20. Touchdown, Houston. Braxton Miller, his first touchdown on the year. And the Texans are an extra point away from tying this football game. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
Point after try forthcoming. And he'll put it through, and that evens us up at 10 apiece. So the drive there took 6 plays, and the result, a Houston touchdown. So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. This is taken at his 4. And he'll be out of bounds here just past the 20-yard line. Here's the Titan offense now as they make their way back onto the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But you also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
And his throw's going to be incomplete.
After that throw, and it was definitely one that he would love to have back, I wonder what's going through his head. I wonder what kind of mind game he's playing with himself to get himself back on track. Because a lot of guys, that's what they do. They have little triggers that when the mechanics are off, if they make a bad throw, that they go to that place to get themselves back in sync.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll take this one up close to the 25-yard line. It's a gain of about 3, but it's going to leave him with 3rd and still 7 yards to go. Under 4 to play now. Clock running. 3rd down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Just a 2-yard pickup, and that should necessitate a call for the punt team here on 4th down.
Partner, when you're not able to run the ball successfully, it really messes everything up for an offense because no longer are you setting the tone and dictating the game. If you do want to throw the ball, play action's kind of gone out the window because they don't respect the run. And last but not least, you don't get to dictate it all when you want to throw the football. And that really hurts you as an offense.
So just a 3-yard return following a punt of 45. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. And now out comes Houston. The last possession, these guys were able to tie the game with a touchdown, and now they'll have a chance to move out in front.
Yeah, let's give a big assist to the defense who got the ball back. The special teams went out there, handled things. They've got it. They've got momentum. I know they're eager to get out there and put it on display.
They'll look to throw. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
I hope I don't sound too rah-rah on that one, but that's the exact right throw. Either your receiver gets it or no one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it. No one got it. And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. And the Titan defense steps up here, and down he goes. And I know it seems like we say this a lot in broadcast booths, but a quarterback can hold on to the football too long in these situations. I think he did right there.
Oh, I agree with you totally. Sometimes you have to understand situations. Get rid of the football, save some yardage to make it less to gain for the next down. Instead, he was so hipped on ball security, he held on to it and took a big sack.
The Texans on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 15. They'll run it now out of the gun. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down. The Texans send the runner out. 2 minutes to play in a tightly contested first half. Back to Tennessee after this. All A reminder that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll check in with Larry Ridley in Orlando with highlights and analysis of this first half of play.
And I'm going to check in with a heater.
I'm going to be right there with you, partner. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. A big kick that time, 52 yards. And it'll be Titan football. And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. The last couple of drives have ended in punts. Maybe the crowd minds that, but you're a defensive guy. You're okay with a couple of punt drives.
Listen, I'm the guy that loves a 0-0 pitch game. All right, in baseball, I can handle that going into the 7th inning. I think the crowd, though, they want to see a little bit more excitement. Let's see if someone can break something free on offense and get going.
Offense at a premium the last 2 drives. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. So second and medium, 2nd and 5 now. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Now the Texans are going to stop it as they signal for a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. So the defense had a chance to catch their breath, and now they're back out and ready. They'll drop to throw. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. And they pick up 25 as they convert on 3rd. He'll drop to throw. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. It'll be a 2-yard gain, and it'll make it a second down. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. The Titans on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 8.
Let's go!
And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down. Here's Brett Kern now as he's on to punt for Tennessee. And the punt over the side in the air, and the spot will be inside the 35. And now out comes Houston. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. And some space here. And he'll avoid the tackle there with a slide. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Just a 1-yard pickup on the play, and all of a sudden here it's 3rd down. It's hurry-up mode time for the Texans, hustling up to the line. They'll go to the air here on 3rd and 2. And he's got some space here. And he'll slide down to avoid the tackle.
Holding offense.
That's a good chunk of yardage. It's going to be canceled out.
And we always talk about hidden yardage in a game. That's going to count as that because now it doesn't go on the books, but now they have to make that up again, don't they?
They're going to look to throw. Room here to run. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. All right, so the timeout over and all 11 men back out onto the field for the defense. He gets us away. It's a good one, drawing toward the sidelines. And this is going to be ruled out, I think, just inside the 20. Yes, it will. Side judge calls it at the 19-yard line. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage.
Let's go. Green 39. Green 39.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask.
Foul. Face mask. Defense.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that would look pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard, inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
To throw now on first down. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half. And they line up now for what will likely be the last play of the first half. They'll throw now on the final play. And his throw here is incomplete. So we have reached halftime here at a good one. 10-10 is our score. As we send you now to Orlando to check in with Larry Ridley and our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, LR.
Thanks, Brandon. I'm Larry Ridley, and welcome to our EA Halftime Report. Let's look back now at this closely contested first half. Right now, we've got a tie game, and that just means exciting football for us in the second half, as we'll have two teams playing 2 quarters to decide a winner. All right, let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first half. Later on the drive, pass will be completed out of the gun, and this 5-play drive goes for a touchdown, as they get out to a 7-0 lead. Hits a late in the first. Simon's got the sack here. This ends up as a huge loss in yardage. Third and long. Klug's on target, middle of the field. And he caps off the 6-play drive with the score, as that levels the score at 10-10. So that'll do it for us here in Orlando. For the call of the second half, let's hand it back over to Brandon and Charles. Brandon.
This is taken at the 3. The Titans offense now, they get set to head back out here. They have a chance to break our tie here as we get a look at the first drive of quarter 3.
And it's such a tone setter, isn't it? Because both sides trying to seize momentum to begin the half. What do they have dialed up that'll give them an advantage to move the ball downfield?
Let's find out what they have dialed up. His throw incomplete. So 2nd and 10 here. Complete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down. The Titans on 3rd down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. This is 3rd and 10. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. He's got his man on the crossing route. And he's taken down, but not before getting this across midfield and just shy of the 40. So apparently some grabbing there in the middle of the O-line.
I've often wondered why that doesn't happen more often for guys that play center. Having to snap the ball and then trying to get your hands into the proper position, that's difficult to do. He got caught that time.
They'll look to throw here. And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
Here's Brett Kern now, standing right on his own 5-yard line. Now fair catch is called for and taken at the, we'll call it the 37-yard line. It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return, and the offense will take over with a new set of downs. So here's the Texans offense now. They get set to start this third quarter. Their defense did its job, yielded no points. Now it's the offense's turn.
And how much fun is that when you set things up to start a half and you just tell you guys, hey, if you can shut them down, get it back for our offense, we can roll. And they played out perfectly. Now, can the offense do what they wanted to do at the half, which is find those weaknesses and now attack them and score some points.
And break this tie. They'll run it now out of the gun. And now running right through it. And getting this just shy of midfield. They'll spot it at the 49. 10 yards there. Good enough for a Texan first down.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
And a new set of downs here after picking up the first on the ground. Now a play fake here on first down. And he finds a man with a crossing route. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 15. And give him a gain of 37.
That was a nice pickup, some chunk yardage there. Some of those big yards downfield with a little bit of rack thrown in there, a little run after catch. And it came on a crossing route. I could just hear one of my friends who won 4 Super Bowls as a quarterback always said the same thing. What route does a defense hate? Crossing route. Hate it, hate it, hate it, because it's hard to change direction when they get going full speed in the other way.
So the offense has it 1st and 10. And they'll go on the ground. And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. They were in the 4-3. Mike linebacker made a great tackle.
And when that happens, generally it means that the guys up front, the 4-down defensive linemen, have absorbed all the blockers and allowed him to run free to the football. He ends up with a textbook tackle.
And after the good gain last play, this time they say, as he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
One of the things that's really difficult for an offense is often identifying how to block a 3-4 defense. Well, when they're coming on a blitz, even more difficult. They're elusive targets and hard to hit.
And probably the wise decision there. No one open. He just throws it away. And that keeps the field goal on the table as it's 4th down. And his kick is good. And they will take the lead at 13-10. So they don't get a touchdown here on this opening drive of the 3rd quarter. But I think you still say mission accomplished as they come away from it with the lead.
Absolutely. You've got to apply the pressure here, make the other guys play catch-up for a while, and now you just hope your defense can step up and protect the lead.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is taken at the 3. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. And the Titans getting set to go. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Takes this up just short of the 30, but he was able to avoid that earlier tackle. Nice move. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
Quick hitter here, it's complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 13 yards is the pickup for Tennessee and a first down. Fresh set of downs here. And to give this time to the tailback. And very little daylight there. He'll get a couple up to the 44. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
The Titans on 3rd down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This is 3rd and 17. He's going to float this one deep right side. Thrown across his body, and it's intercepted. Picked off at about the 31. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line.
Well, I tell you, Brandon, this ball's intercepted, but it is 3rd down. So the silver lining is that since this is so far down the field and there wasn't a big run back associated with it, really this kind of works like a punt. It's not an altogether bad result.
By the way, 3rd quarter now in Cincinnati as we take a look at the NFL scoreboard. And the Bengals have extended their lead. We'll keep you updated on that one as it progresses. And the Texans set to come onto the field. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking, because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. It's a loss of 4. Now 3rd down.
If you're the coaching staff upstairs, you might want to file that play away. Did you see how fast the safety closed on that one? Coming up in run support, made a big-time tackle. Might want to try and check into a pass.
Pressure comes, and the Titans able to bring him down. Well, they went with the nickel. They throw in an extra defensive back. Coverage was very good.
Yeah, it was exactly as you would expect. A passing down. You bring in the nickel package. Just as you described, the coverage was excellent and allowed one of their linemen to end up getting to the quarterback.
The Texans send the punter out as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. And he'll push forward for about 4 up to the 23.
But we all know the guy carrying the ball is going to get the credit, both in the stat line and probably in the newspaper. But guess what? Those guys creating holes, they couldn't feel better about themselves right now. Offensive line, tight end, probably even the wide receivers are involved. They're moving the ball well.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
Looks like the defense in press coverage here. They'll look to throw now on first down. And he's got room. And avoids the contact by sliding. 7 yards on the play. And it'll make it second down.
Here we go now. 3-19.
Now a handoff here to his running back. They're just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football. In that situation, that's almost a tendency breaker.
A handoff as they run the counter play. And he will be brought down at about the 43 that time. A gain of 3, second down. Decent chunk of yardage still left here, 2nd and 7. Now they'll run on the draw. And give him about 5 as he gets this up to the 48-yard line. And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now in Nashville. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the fourth quarter.
Here we go now.
Now back to throw. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. The gain of 4 that time as the drive continues.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the first down. And that's what he just did.
Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. On first down, he'll drop to throw. Throwing right, and that's complete. And they're able to get this one down to the 25. 23 yards on the play. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
And now a first down following that long gain. They go play action here on first down. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
And a long way to go for the offense here on second down.
Let's go. Green 39. Green 39.
Back to throw. Throwing the slant pattern here, complete. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down. The Titans on third down. They're right at about the league average, 40%, 4 for 10. This is 3rd and 8. He'll look to throw. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. It's a 4-yard pickup, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. It'll be from the right hash, and it'll be a 36-yarder. And his kick is indeed good. And in the 4th quarter, this game is tied. Well, you talk about clutch right down the pipe, and this game's all even here in the 4th.
And he didn't leave much doubt there, did he? Good snap, good hold, and that one was dead center.
Out now comes the Houston offense as you take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC. And I tell you, 4 weeks still to go, and everything is wide open, and it's fun.
And I know we always talk about, well, if the playoffs were to begin today, and then we kind of go, okay, but they're not. Let's see how it plays out. Wouldn't it be fun to play with this playoff lineup right now? Because to me, just about anyone can win this whole thing out of this grouping we currently have. And by the time we get there, it may look entirely different. It's vitally important to wrap him up immediately, because if you let that big guy get ahead of steam up, boy, then you've got real trouble trying to get him down.
But they're able to hold him to a short gain on 1st down.
Green 39. Green 39.
Back to throw here. And the Titan defense steps up here, and down he goes.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
The Texans on 3rd down. Not so hot. 2 for 9 to this point. This is 3rd and 9.
All right, here we go.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get nothing out of that one. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down. The Texans send the punter out as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. And a great job here. This is going to turn out to be a beauty. This is marked out at about the 3-yard line. On the NFL scoreboard, they've gone to the 4th in Cincinnati. And it's now a 2-touchdown advantage for the Bengals. And we'll keep an eye on that one as our game goes along here. Going to give this time to the tailback. And he'll get this up past the 5 to the 7-yard line. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
And that's frustrating for a defense because they've got them pinned down deep. And on the first play, they gave up a run that keeps an offense on schedule.
Yeah, because 3 to 4 yards, that's all you're looking for right there, right?
That's absolutely perfect, really, as a play call. You get 3 to 4 yards on 1st down. That's what they talk about us all the time, about being ahead of the chains or on target, ahead of schedule. They were after that run.
3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on 3rd down? 3 yards left to grab here on 3rd down. Looking to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Lloyd. Well, he's taken down, but not before picking up the first thanks to a flashy little spin move. And the play goes for 19 yards, gives him a new set of downs. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage.
All right, here we go.
And he'll give it here to his running back. He'll only get a couple up to about the 30. Second down following the run. Now a handoff here to his running back. And tough going there as he'll only get it up to about the 31. Back-to-back one-yard runs here, so that leaves him with a third down and 8.
But now they're in a spot that every team tells us when we have our production meetings they don't want to be in, third and long. And that's because those back-to-back running plays just didn't accomplish a whole lot.
On third down, he'll drop to throw. Complete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up fourth.
What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry. Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of, otherwise he was going to get sacked.
On is Kern, the punter, to send this one away. And take it right on the 30.
Illegal block in the back. Return team.
All right, here we go. 3-19.
They'll look to throw here on first down. And some room to work. And he fumbled it. It's on the ground. Now after the play, it looks like there's a Texan here slow to get up. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. Even score late in the fourth. Let's see if the defense can play within themselves, not give up the big play and contain, and keep this knotted up. They'll run it now out of the gun. And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again. No gain on the play there. Second down. And this defense continues to give them fits. They just can't get really anything going on the ground, can they?
I love the theme that you just brought up. This defense has been tough all game long against the run. We just saw another example of it there.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down at the 50 after a gain of about 5.
A good solid run there as we head towards the home stretch of this game.
One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big third down. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back, and they're facing a big third down now in this tie ball game. And now the first throw for the backup quarterback. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he's brought down, but following a pretty juke move that gives him the first down. A big one there for the Texans, 18 yards.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
They'll set up to throw. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. It's hurry-up mode time for the Texans, hustling up to the line. They'll set up a throw. This one complete to his fullback out of the backfield. Touchdown, Houston. It's the fullback. His first touchdown on the year. And the Texans have broken the tie.
Hey, that score deserves our respect, deserves our excitement. But I'm looking at the clock, and I'm thinking, there's a long way to go in this one.
Ideally, they would have liked to milk a little bit more time off. Now on the other sideline, you start to get the crew together and say, this is what we practiced the 2-minute drill for, right?
Yeah, you hope you've been in that situation before, and if you haven't, you just have the confidence, hey, let's go down there and get this thing done. But, boy, that's a big score right there to give them the advantage.
Now the extra point try forthcoming. And they will take a 7-point lead now. A drive that time of 6 plays. And it results in the Texans finding the end zone. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. The Titan offense now working their way back onto the field. They're down here in a 1-score game. But the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late game situation. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity? They've called these plays a bunch of times. Now's their chance to execute them.
Yeah, they have the opportunity now. Here's the execution. Back to throw. Looking left sideline, incomplete. To throw. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. The Titans going to use the first of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 seconds to go in the game. He's back to throw. He's got the first down and more past midfield. And he's got enough for the first across midfield to the 48. Now Tennessee going to use the second of their timeouts, as they'll stop him with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. He'll look to throw. Going to throw right side here, complete. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling. They'll look to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And down inside the 15 he goes. Now the Titans will use their third and final timeout, as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in the football game. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. It's a 9-yard pickup on the play, and it'll be second and about a yard to go for the first. Well, Charles, exciting to the very end. That's what we just saw in this game. Final play there, had it in the red zone, but anytime you're outside of the 10, that's tough trying to draw up a final play to get in, and they couldn't do it.
It certainly is. So what they were looking for was, extra time. Too bad it's not FIFA soccer, right, where you get a little bit of extra and you get a chance to run up a couple more plays and maybe get closer and take that last shot into the end zone.
So for Houston, it's a 4th win on the year as they move to 4-9. And they'll have another road date next week with the Cincinnati Bengals. Meanwhile, for Tennessee, they're squarely in play for next year mode now as they drop to 2-11. And they'll look to regroup next week as they head to MetLife Stadium to take on the New York Giants. So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. With that, we sign off from Nashville.